What's up, ladies and germs? Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. In today's tech and PC gaming news, first up, we're going to be talking about AMD, who has addressed NVIDIA's competition in the coming years and how NVIDIA will be forced to play catch-up with AMD's chiplet technology on RDNA 3 GPUs. Also, Battlefield 3 Reality Mod gets an official release date later this week and a new gameplay trailer, so we're going to talk about that. Also, Robert Morrison of Naughty Dog has addressed some of the backlash concerning Last of Us Part 1's remake and how it's just a quote-unquote cash grab. And also, I've decided on and ordered a new monitor, so stay tuned for it. But first, today's video is brought to you by SuperCDK.com, where you could save money on games for all of your favorite platforms, as well as software like Windows 10 Pro licenses for just $22, and then you can unlock the prestigious Dark Mode for Windows 10, which I honestly could not live without. It is blinding without the dark mode. You guys need it in your life. And now you can also save an additional 25% off at checkout by clicking Buy Now on any software products over there. Just go ahead and add it into your cart and put in my code JP25 at checkout and apply, and that'll bring our price from $22.44 all the way down to $16.83, a savings of over $5. And I'll walk you through how to get your key and install it on Windows 10. Go ahead and click Submit Order and complete your checkout from there. For me, that's going to be with PayPal, and then click on Pay Now. After completing the checkout, it'll bring you to your purchased order page, and it will update in a matter of seconds, or just go ahead and hit F5. Go ahead and do that one time. It came through literally immediately. I got the payment email that it had gone through and the delivery of the product exactly at the same time. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click on View Keys and Codes, and we'll get our code right here that we can go ahead and copy and paste in on Windows 10 by hitting the Start button and type in the word Activate. When you see that activation settings or see if Windows is activated, go ahead and click on that, and it'll bring up this right here, and click on Change Your Product Key or Unlock Windows 10. As I already have Windows 10, I obviously don't need to put in a new key, but just paste it in and then go ahead and click Next, and you are all done and set. For more information on SuperCDK.com as well as the coupon code, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. So as always, all of these sources and everything I talk about will be linked down in the description below via a one-tab link, which will expand and give you all the different links via one tab, as it's called. Not a sponsor. Just love the browser extension, honestly, for Firefox. First up, let's talk about AMD discussing the future competition with NVIDIA and how the technologies are going to go, and basically force NVIDIA to kind of play catch-up with AMD after an interview recently happened between AMD's Senior Vice President Samuel Nafziger, hope I'm saying that correctly, where when addressed by VentureBeat, they said, compared to NVIDIA and Intel, do you feel like we're in a state of divergence when it comes to designs, or some kind of convergence? So are we drifting apart, or eventually are all these technologies going to have to come together? And according to Nafziger, it sounds like they're going to have to come together if they all want to be on, this level playing field, really, rather than sticking to their guns. As his response is that it's hard to speculate. NVIDIA certainly hasn't jumped on the chiplet bandwagon. I'm sorry. It's Monday morning, folks. Haven't jumped on the chiplet bandwagon yet. We have a big lead there, and we see big opportunities with that, and they'll be forced to do so. We'll see when they deploy it. Intel certainly has jumped on that one. Ponte is the poster child for chiplet extremes. I would say that there's more convergence than divergence, but the companies that innovate in the right space the soonest gain an advantage. It's when you deliver the new technology as much as what the technology is. Whoever is first with the innovation has the advantage. So coming directly at NVIDIA here, more or less, and mentioning Intel as well in the same breath about how Intel has gotten onto the chiplet stuff, but NVIDIA has not. And AMD obviously already has with their Ryzen CPUs since 2019, and we'll be seeing more chiplet designs, I'm sure, when it comes to Ryzen 7000 CPUs, and now very likely also with RDNA 3 on Ryzen 7000 GPUs, we'll also see a chiplet advantage, which some early reports have actually said that with chiplets on RDNA 3, we may see a true generational leap in performance. Some speculating that their top-end card may even be twice as fast as the current 6900 XT, which will be absolutely amazing to see. And I sincerely doubt NVIDIA would be able to do such a jump from the 30 series to the 40 series without implementing some massive new overhaul in terms of their design going to chiplets rather than the traditional monolithic design, which we've been seeing for years. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, but like I said, if they don't do some like insane overhaul for the RTX 40 series, I expect to see a decent uplift in performance, but the typical what we see generation to generation, maybe somewhere in the wheelhouse of 15 to 40%, maybe, and obviously 40% being in the best case scenario, but it's a pretty wide range, but I would say that's probably the range we're going to see. But if, AMD can hit double their performance, they'd pretty much be lapping NVIDIA at that point. And then NVIDIA would probably be forced to do some major overhauling if they don't already have something in place. Or, like he said, rather than a divergence, cause a convergence and move into the chiplet design as well, as that does seem like it very well could be the way of the future, unless there's some other new technology that we're not really talking about yet. But definitely going to be exciting to keep an eye on in the coming years, and especially this year as well, as we're going to have the 40 series coming out probably before the end of the year. Hopefully, that's what they say anyway. And by they, I mean the rumor mill of video cards, Reddit, and WCCF tech, the holy trinity of leaks and rumors. Next up, Battlefield 3 Reality Mod, which has been in development for 7 years with over 80 contributors working on this passion project. Now we know it will officially be coming out on the 17th of July, so we do not have much longer to go for that. That is going to be this coming Sunday. Kind of an odd release date, but oh well. There you go, BF3 Reality Mod coming out this Sunday, which is basically a complete overhaul of Battlefield 3, and you'll be able to get this and access to it as long as you own Battlefield. You have to own Battlefield 3, you have to own all the DLCs for Battlefield 3, and have official copies of Battlefield 3, and you'll be able to go ahead and run this mod starting on the 17th. And like I said, it's a reality mod, so the UI is overhauled. The maps are pretty much the same as far as I can tell, but the objectives have been, reworked. The things like bullet drop and the interface and all of that, and the health values, all of that kind of stuff has been overhauled. If you think of something more like an insurgency game or Arma or something along those, not open world necessarily like Arma, but like the health modifiers and like very low health, crucial to work with teammates and communicate in order to be able to advance and take objectives. And, you're not going to be able to run in there, run and gun rapidly over and over and over again, because you're going to die very quickly if you do that, especially if you're going against a team of people that are actually communicating and playing well. And this is something I've been keeping an eye on for quite a few months now. I know it's been in development for like 7 years. I became aware of it maybe about 6 months ago. And since then, I have been keeping an eye on it, and it looks fantastic. Like, looks like the Battlefield I've been waiting for kind of since Battlefield 3, I guess, as my taste in first-person shooters have become a little bit more mature. And then with the debacle of Battlefield 2042, and also I would say BF1 and BF5, which I know some people like those for some reason, I don't think this franchise has been the same really since BF4, but I digress. So BF3 Reality Mod, I'm definitely going to be on it, definitely looking forward to checking it out, and just wanted to spread some more awareness about this. I'll have links to everything down below if you want to check out their trailer, the release trailer for it, videos and stuff like that, and their website, and all the information about like server hosting. They did say that for server hosting, it will only be available to pre-established communities, like in the Battlefield, communities and stuff like that. I guess they don't want like, bad admins coming on and just starting servers willy-nilly and then, ruining the name of the Reality Mod before the thing is even off the ground and running. So there it is, Reality Mod this coming Sunday. And let me know if you'd like to see a future video on it. Once it's officially released, we could do some testing on it and see how it is. I'm pretty sure performance won't be an issue, as it is Battlefield 3 at the end of the day. But yeah, we could do a video on it still. Next up, just wanted to quickly mention this as I thought it was interesting, as Robert Morrison, the lead animator from Naughty Dog, put a couple of tweets out over on Twitter responding to the community backlash ever since The Last of Us 1 Part 1 Remake was announced. I believe it was the state of play for June. I believe it was the beginning of June, if I'm not mistaken, that they had announced The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. And I was excited about it right away. I wasn't really too sure what all the backlash was about. I guess people are thinking it's just a cash grab since they already had the remaster, and they thought this was just going to be the same thing, but for PS5 and PC, where that couldn't really be the furthest from the truth. I mean, they have completely overhauled this game. I mean, they pretty much put it into the Last of Us 2 engine, but that is an oversimplification of what they have done, is they have gone back and taken the original motion captures and stuff, which had tons of information, so much information, in fact, that it was not, the hardware at the time when Last of Us came out for PS3 was not able to handle all of that information. So the information for the motion tracking and stuff and a lot of that detail had already been there. It's just that they had to simplify it for the hardware that was available at the time, namely the PlayStation 3, in order to be able to run it. And that's just, one of the things that, that they overhauled with this, being able to get all of that extra information there, which is going to enhance the animations of the game. And then graphically speaking, it's going to be at least as good, if not better, than Last of Us Part 2, because now they're working with that engine for the second time around. All of the new graphical effects, like the improved shadows, textures, volumetric lighting, all of those things, lens flares, yada, 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 are all going to be present in Last of Us Part 1. So I don't know why people think this is like just a cash grab, quick remaster type of situation. It's like, no, this is paramount to like what we saw with Mafia 1, except it's going to be more of a one-to-one recreation, and I'm not really expecting any new content here in Last of Us Part 1, whereas the Mafia 1 remake really was a reimagining, sort of. Like, they stuck to the story and things like that, but it was a little bit different in some ways or another. They really improved a lot in the controls, and they're doing that here too with Last of Us, bringing in the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and all that. But my rant aside, getting into what Robert Morrison from Naughty Dog said, he said, quote unquote, it's just a cash grab, obviously quoting the community at large there. He said, actually, it's the most meticulously built and crafted project that I have ever seen or been a part of in my entire career. The highest level of care and attention to detail possible. In a follow-up tweet, he went on to say, the price of the game is out of my control and worth is subjective to each individual. You can decide for yourself if you want it or not. All I'm saying is I am in awe of the work that an amazing group of people did on the project. A tremendous amount of passion was put into it. So obviously the price was another factor that I guess the community took issue with that it's going to be a full-fledged $70 price game for Last of Us Part 1, which is, I think, almost 10 years old at this point. I think it's 9 years old, maybe. Pretty sure it came out 2013. I could be wrong about that, though. But yeah, I guess I could kind of see people's point being upset about the $70, because I think Mafia 1's remake, I think when that came out, I think it was like maybe $50. Because I guess there needs to be some kind of understanding there that people are essentially paying to play a game that they've probably already played more than once, potentially, especially if they got the remaster on PS4 or PS4 Pro. And then in some months' time from now, it's going to be released on PC, in which people might triple, quadruple dip in playing this game on all the different available platforms. But obviously, if you do that, then you can't really blame them if you buy it multiple times, especially the same version of it. But I could see the point of the $70 thing, but also at the same time, I mean, they put, it seems like, just as much effort into this as, a full-fledged title, apart from like, story-wise and voice acting. That kind of stuff has already been done. So I guess there's a case to be made either way for the pricing on The Last of Us Part 1 remake. I'm kind of in the middle of that. I feel like 70 is a touch high. And then, like I said, a case could be made for 50. A case could probably even be made for $40. Why not we settle in the middle at 60, the old standard price for games? And even at 60, though, I still feel like people would have been a little bit butthurt. I think anything more than 40, probably. If they had announced this at 40, I don't even think we'd be having this conversation. That's just my theory, though. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Oh, before we get out of here, I did quickly want to mention, I almost completely forgot, about the monitor. I mentioned last week my Acer Predator X27 died after a power surge, and it completely fried the monitor. I've tried it on multiple outlets, different power cords, all this stuff, different DisplayPort cables. Thing is completely fried, so had to get a new 4K 144Hz display, because I have multiple 4K 60Hz displays, like Creation displays, and they're beautiful, but they're just not for gaming. So when it comes to playing games, I need my 4K 144Hz. And I thought about quite a few monitors. I thought about the Gigabyte M28U, which has really great reviews, the Samsung G70A. There was a couple other ones in contention. There were some 32 inches that I did consider. But ultimately, I decided to go with a 28-inch Samsung Odyssey G70A. It's 4K, 144 hertz. The HDR is not spectacular, but I don't really care about that too much anyway. I don't really do any HDR gaming on PC. I pretty much reserve that for when I'm on my couch with my PS5 on my big LG television, and I enjoy it there. For the PC, I'm mostly playing fast-paced first-person shooters, and I'm not really stopping to look at all of the HDR goodness, honestly. And the cost of a really, really good HDR display is like triple this bare minimum for a proper HDR display, and that's just not a price I was willing to pay. 144 hertz G-Sync and FreeSync premium support, so it's officially, certified by NVIDIA G-Sync, which was important to me. I know FreeSync monitors will technically work with G-Sync 99% of the time, but I did want to get something that was G-Sync officially branded since I use NVIDIA cards for my own personal use. So that was important. And also, I think it's a pretty slick-looking monitor. I mean, pretty simplistic. It's got some, LED lights on the front and the back, but overall, fairly understated gamer aesthetic. And previously, I had used a Samsung Odyssey monitor. It was a 1440p 144 hertz monitor, and this was, probably 4 or 5 years ago. But besides mini LED displays that I've seen at CES, it was the best display, just quality, of image quality I had seen on a gaming monitor in my own personal testing. Like I said, outside of mini LED stuff that they had at some shows, for ones that I actually had hands-on time with and tested myself, the Samsung beat all of the Acers, BenQs, ViewSonics, Asus monitors that I've had over the years. Best image quality by far. So that definitely did sway me a little bit. I know there's some minor caveats with this monitor as far as HDMI 2.1 support and the full color support, full color gamut, if you wanted to use it with a PS5. But I'm never going to use it with a PS5. As I said, I play my PS5 on my TV. I'm never going to need to plug that into my monitor. So I felt like 600. This was, I believe it was 650 or maybe even 699 just on Friday when I had initially started searching for monitors. So I saw this $599 this morning, and I was just like, yeah, deal, purchased. So July 11th, 2022, just less than an hour ago. Ordered this bad boy. Sadly, it's not going to be here until August 5th, which I'm okay with. They haven't even charged me yet, so if between now and then I find anything or find any better deals, we got Prime Day coming up tomorrow and the next day, I could always cancel this. But I felt like with the price that it was, I wasn't sure if I'd find that price as good somewhere else, let alone with Amazon, who I prefer to do my purchasing through. Yeah, $5.99 is a pretty damn good price. So went ahead and ordered it, and my battery just died on my camera, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you tomorrow for another video. Ta-ra.